Thursday session felt like a real tone shift after so many fake-out sell-offs got bought back up. Markets opened weak, stayed weak, and by the close, traders were staring at broken support, stronger oil, and rising yields all at once. We're going to break this all down and get into what we're seeing. But real quick, before we do, if you're new here, welcome to today's stock market summary. And please note that none of this is buying or selling advice. We're just calling what we see happening in the charts as things develop.
Yeah, and what developed today was just brutal for anyone used to the recent market behavior. I mean, the buyers finally just exhausted themselves completely.
Right, because for weeks it's been like, this rubber band that just keeps stretching and then bouncing right back up at the close. But today
it finally snapped.
Exactly. We saw the SPY drop 1.52%, and the small cap Russell 2000 took a pretty hard 2.15% hit.
And don't forget QQQ.
Right, the tech sector. It slid 1.72%. And like we mentioned yesterday, the NASDAQ was hovering dangerously close to losing that support trend line. And today it just fell right through the floor.
Which leaves the whole broader picture looking incredibly fragile. I mean, SPY, QQQ, and the Dow are all sitting uncomfortably close to their 200-day moving averages right now.
Which is basically the ultimate lie detector for a stock's long-term health. Like, if you fall below it,
you're officially in a downtrend. We are just one aggressive sell-off away from testing those critical macroeconomic floors. We even saw massive stalwarts like Apple and the XLC sector lose their immediate support levels today.
Wow.
Yeah, while stocks like SMCI are just trapped in what we call a symmetrical triangle. It's essentially this technical bottleneck where buyers and sellers are completely deadlocked, just building massive pressure for a violent breakout.
But wait, let me push back a bit here. We actually had good domestic data today. Weekly jobless claims came in completely stable at 213,000. So why did Wall Street just ignore perfectly healthy employment numbers to trigger a sell-off?
Because employment data doesn't really matter when a fresh macro shock hits the energy sector. Traders were basically forced to reprice inflation risks entirely because of the intensifying Iran war.
Oh, right, because of the oil spike.
Yeah. When oil spikes like that, the cost of manufacturing and shipping just goes up across the board.
Which threatens to bring inflation roaring back.
Exactly. And if inflation returns, the Fed is forced to keep interest rates high to cool the economy, which just crushes tech stocks. It's why we saw that massive surge in the 10-year Treasury yield today.
So the Fed's job next week just got so much tougher. Hey, don't forget, if you've got a stock you're watching or a question about the markets, let us know in the comments. We want to know what you're tracking to make these videos more relevant if possible, and we'll do our best to talk about what we see in a future episode. And as always, drop a like if you appreciate these market summaries, and click subscribe too so you can stay updated.
Seeing that panic in equities makes the reaction in alternative assets super intriguing today too.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. Like, if inflation fears are suddenly back in the driver's seat, why isn't Bitcoin catching a massive bid? You'd think the ultimate decentralized inflation hedge would be flying right now.
You really would. The narrative makes total sense, but the charts, they just don't support it. Crypto is severely lacking any bullish follow-through right now. It's just been stalling sideways.
Right. But gold is a different story, right?
Yeah, well, more than survived. Gold dropped initially, but then it successfully bounced right off its ascending triangle support trend line. So buyers stepped in exactly where they needed to in order to maintain that larger upward trend.
Which is a subtle but vital sign of underlying strength. And it really highlights how tricky this environment is. When the market shifts from that harmless sideways chop into a decisive downward plunge, the worst thing you can do is, well, let emotion take the wheel.
Oh, absolutely.
Traders get conditioned to just blind buy every dip out of habit, and suddenly that habit becomes a trap. Honestly, learning to stop that emotional dip buying is a core survival skill, which is something the Grok Trade mentorship program teaches in deep detail, like actual risk management techniques, rather than just guessing.
And that is exactly the difference between a gambler and a professional trader, right? Surviving a sudden character change in the broader market requires a repeatable mechanical process. The mentorship program focuses entirely on that, identifying high-probability setups, actively managing risk, and ruthlessly respecting broken trend lines. Plus, it's backed by ongoing support until you actually recoup your initial investment.
That kind of discipline really is your only shield when the charts turn hostile. So I'll leave you with this. With yields rising, the dollar firming, and key support levels breaking, are we witnessing a fundamental regime change in the market or just a severe technical reset? Have a great rest of the day, and we'll catch you in tomorrow's market summary.